opinion, not prediction, opinion was, I can't see them doing this. This is pretty radical. The idea that you would mock people for believing it and saying it was a conspiracy theory, the people had Trump derangement syndrome. I'm sorry, give me a break.
Apologies, I forget that Sam usually doesn't let Emma get a word in edgewise, but I'll address what she said in that video in a second. But before I do, did I, Sam? Did I mock voters who were worried about Project 2025? Because I don't remember doing that. What I do recall is chastising Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party for offering nothing to voters other than incessant fear-mongering about Trump.
The woke left is absolutely falling apart. We have Ana Kasparian now going after Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland for their ridiculously woke takes and for attacking Ana Kasparian and Cenk Uygur. And the reason why people like Sam Seder, Emma Vigeland, David Pakman, Destiny, Hassan Piker, all of these people are going after the Young Turks with Ana Kasparian and Cenk Uygur is because actual common sense has been coming out of their mouths lately, ever since Donald Trump won the election, and for Ana Kasparian for a couple of years now. But things are really ramping up, and the woke left feels like they're under attack. People like Sam Seder, Emma Vigeland, they feel like they're losing because they are. And now they're lashing out at people like Ana Kasparian, and Ana Kasparian is fed up with it, and now she is responding and firing back at Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland. Let's get into this clip here where Ana Kasparian absolutely shreds these woke idiots, Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland.
Whoopsies. Now, if you watch Beavis and Butthead on the Vanguard YouTube channel, which the Majority Report hilariously treats as some authoritative source, you'd think that TYT is totally in favor of the Trump administration gutting federal agencies. Except we're not. Two things can be true at the same time. These agencies have been deeply corrupted, do engage in waste, and should be reformed. But treating the federal workforce as if they're Twitter employees is a disastrous way to handle it, as we've been learning in recent weeks. But let's hear what Emma has to say about my on-air correction.
It is not the prediction. People make predictions all the time.
Right, I was wrong in my prediction about the election, but
this is not making some type of poly market bet here.
Yeah.
Where the outcome we can't tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was abundance amount of evidence of this. And even if your opinion, not prediction, opinion was, I can't see them doing this. This is pretty radical. The idea that you would mock people for believing it and saying it was a conspiracy theory, the people had Trump derangement syndrome. I'm sorry, give me a break.
Apologies, I forget that Sam usually doesn't let Emma get a word in edgewise, but I'll address what she said in that video in a second. But before I do, did I, Sam? Did I mock voters who were worried about Project 2025? Because I don't remember doing that. What I do recall is chastising Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party for offering nothing to voters other than incessant fear-mongering about Trump. I also remember criticizing members of the media who simply regurgitated anything the Democratic Party claimed. I also found it fascinating that as the whole of the Democratic Party was engaging in said fear-mongering, they were also playing part in a massive cover-up about Biden's mental decline. I mean, just think about it. Democracy is under threat. We, the Democrats, insist that this corpse stay in the race to give us the best chance of beating Trump and saving democracy. But since Emma brought it up, let's address the fact that inaccurate predictions are totally okay, but only when she's wrong. In the lead up to the presidential race, Emma declared that her final electoral college prediction is that Harris sweeps all 7 swing states and ekes out a victory in Iowa. My only reservation is that I don't want to jinx the results, but I'm trying to avoid the trappings of magical thinking. Well, Emma, the magical thinking is what led you to think that Harris would sweep all battleground states. Not that you cited superstitious jinxing. And of course, Trump, not Harris, went on to win all swing states and the popular vote. The average of polls clearly showed Harris trailing Trump. She ran a horrific campaign, stood for nothing, was unpopular with anyone who was paying attention, and wasn't even nominated through a democratic process. She was anointed. How's that for saving democracy?
And the craziest part is too, I mean, Ana Kasparian's absolutely cooking right now, so I'm going to get back to her in a second. But the crazy part is about all this stuff about with Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland and all these people out there who are predicting a landslide victory for Kamala Harris. Like all of the woke idiots out there, except for the Young Turks, were saying that. So the craziest part is after Donald Trump won, and I mean, electoral college wise, a landslide victory. He won like all the swing states, you know? And the excuse and the rebuttal to that Emma Vigeland, Sam Seder, David Pakman, all these sorts of people make is that, well, Donald Trump didn't get the majority of votes. Okay, who cares? Like that there's a lot of candidates outside of just the top two. So neither did Kamala Harris. And if you look at the electoral college, Donald Trump ran away with the election. So whatever. But if you just look at the electoral college and you look at the fact that Donald Trump won the popular vote for the first time in a very long time, the left was way off. And it's not like as if they saw that and most of them said, damn, maybe I'm completely out of touch. Maybe my rhetoric is like one of the reasons why we lost. Maybe this crazy stuff that we've been spewing, could that possibly be the reason why we lost so badly? None of them thought that. None of them are, thinking back on it. They're not introspective. They're not thinking anything like that. They're just like, oh, they must be racist. They must just hate women. They don't want to elect women. Oh, I must have just jinxed it. My bad. It's so wild. I mean, I love it because it means that the people with common sense get to win going forward more, but it's wild to me to watch. And it makes me think that it's either number one, these people are really stupid. Okay. Either Emma Vigeland, Sam Seder, David Pakman, all these sorts of people are really stupid, or they know that their audience is really stupid and they're playing the dumb role as well because they just want to continue to exist in that echo chamber because they know it feeds their pockets, because they know it makes them a lot of money. So they're just telling their audience exactly what they want to hear. What their audience doesn't want to hear is, hey guys, your ideology is wrong. If they hear that, they're going to leave because they don't want the truth. They don't want to hear uncomfortable truths. They just want to live in a comforting lie, in a comforting echo chamber that's warm and cozy, and they'll continue to give you money. But if you ever call out your audience and say, hey, you might be wrong on this, they're going to leave. And I think that's what's going on. I don't think I don't think you build a network like that, a successful network that the majority report is, or David Pakman. He has a lot of followers. He gets a lot of views. I don't think you do that, by accident, by being stupid. I think these people are smart and they know that their audience is stupid. So they just play into that. That's what I think is happening personally, but I'm curious to see what you guys think in the comments.
But you worked very hard to launder her reputation and sell her to Americans. So much so that I thought maybe, just maybe, all those Kamala Harris ads that interrupted your YouTube videos were possibly clouding your judgment. But you say you were delusional all on your own. And you know what? I'll take your word for it. But since we're on the topic of issuing corrections, one of your viewers is curious about something that you've said and whether you're gonna correct it. One of your viewers wants to know that since I admitted I was wrong, can Majority Report admit they were wrong, saying there wasn't a Venezuelan gang that took over an apartment complex in Colorado, even though residents were coming out and saying that was going on for months? I haven't heard a peep from the Majority Report. Well, you know what? That's actually a great question. Majority Report seemed to direct their audience to harass me for months for accurately reporting that story. When that story was updated to include a horrific incident in which Trinidad Aragua gang members literally kidnapped and tortured a couple that lived in that Aurora, Colorado apartment complex, Majority Report couldn't be bothered with it at all.
A Colorado apartment complex plagued by suspected Venezuelan gang activity in the spotlight again after a brutal kidnapping.
They were pistol whipped, they were beat, they were victimized, they were terrorized.
Police say on Monday night, more than a dozen people approached a man and a woman, forcing them into an empty apartment where they were
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
held against their will, and the man was stabbed. The two victims were released by the assailants after they promised not to call police, authorities say. Police say 19 people were initially detained in connection to the attack. Tonight, 16 are in Immigration and Customs Enforcement custody, according to an ICE spokesperson who says they are all Venezuelan nationals in the country without authorization.
Prior to that, the Aurora Police Department had already arrested 10 Trinidad Aragua gang members from the same building. Wow, take a look at that. That's a lot of mugshots for a Venezuelan gang that definitely does not exist and definitely were not victimizing other migrants in addition to low-income Americans in that same apartment complex. That totally didn't happen. Oh, but by the way, that's not all. Earlier this month, ABC News had this headline, quote, ICE carries out raid in Colorado, 100 members of Venezuelan gang targeted for arrests. Alleged members of Tren de Aragua were arrested at an Aurora apartment complex. So I'm just really curious, super curious. Is ABC News funded by Polymarket and that's why they're reporting these news stories? Are they making it up? I mean, it's just how many gang members do you need to take over a single apartment complex? But look, that's not all. Does Emma have the integrity to admit that she was wrong to gaslight everyone about Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass's austerity measures, namely her decision to cut the budget for a fire department that had already been chronically short-staffed and underfunded?
Of course not. You know, of course. But the thing is, nobody's going to hold her accountable. Shout out to Ana Kasparian, because right-wingers can go and say, hey, Emma Vigeland lied. And everybody would be like, yeah, who cares? Like, the right wing knows that the left wing lies. You know, the left wing YouTubers and Emma Vigeland, Sam Seder, David Pakman, these people just lie constantly. We all know that. And so does their side, but they just don't care, or they're just too stupid to realize. But whenever there's other left wingers calling out Emma Vigeland and Sam Seder and these people for their lies, that might actually wake some people up. That might do something. At the very least, it's going to tear the left apart, you know, and you know, we get to sit back and watch it. But, you know, what I'm more interested in is people really waking up to the fact that they've been lied to, that they've been brainwashed. And I know Emma Vigeland probably already knows that, and she's just, you know, doing it for the money. But maybe it'll wake up some of her audience members and think like, hey, maybe like deporting these illegal immigrants that are literally taking over apartment complexes and holding them hostage, like maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. You know, like maybe that's not that crazy of Donald Trump to do. Maybe that's a little bit of common sense to do. When there's illegal people here, you should probably handle it, right? Just like if there's a murderer running free outside, you should probably go catch him and throw him in jail. It's the same thing. They broke the law, then they get punished for breaking the law. It's as simple as that. Somehow Emma Vigeland and the lefties have turned, you know, immigration into like this weird taboo topic where if somebody's here illegally, not only are you not supposed to deport them, you're not even allowed to call them an illegal immigrant. You know, you can't even call them that. They don't even allow you to call them that. It's just a wild world that we live in currently, man. But I'm glad that there's people out there that are waking up a little bit, like Ana Kasparian is calling out Emma Vigeland and Sam Seder here. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Ana Kasparian just losing it and snapping and going off against Emma Vigeland, Sam Seder, and all these woke idiots out there that are spreading all of these lies and all this nonsense. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole Ana Kasparian versus Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland situation.